Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take time today on my channel to give some positive criticism, some positive feedback, partially based on the feedback I've heard from some of you, but also just from my own experiences and observations. I remember, it feels like years ago, but in reality it was more like just 6+ months ago, hearing about this new Alliance Quest format that was going to make things easier and make the schedule more consistent and easy to follow. And for my particular alliance, they decided, hey, weekends, we don't want you all to be worrying about Alliance Quest. We want you to relax, go see a movie, watch some sporting event, whether it be across the pond with your football or here with American football, or who knows what else. And then we didn't hear about it much for a while because we couldn't implement it. It was like when your parents say, and I didn't grow up with much money, so I was only told that other people's parents did this. They're like, hey, if you're good, we'll get you something nice. And then you're like, hey, I've been good. Can I get that something nice? And they're like, not yet. But Kabam wanted this to be a quality of life improvement, or a QOL, which to me sounds like a Kabam version of the FBI. And look, on paper it seemed good, but you just never know. And yes, we have a new season. In this case, for map 6, which my alliance does, we have Sandman, who was not super fun. Also, it's not super fun when you miss a special path in a section. Oops. But, you know, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. Either way, I think as I go into the routine schedule more and I think about training myself to just expect this, because I don't know if y'all remember, but for a while in this game, like 22-hour events weren't on a rotation that was always consistent. And sometimes it's like you'd get level up back to back randomly. And you're like, what? Where's hero use? Or you'd get event quest completion back to back and you're like, what does that mean? Arena wins is going to be late, et cetera, et cetera. And so when they made it standard, it actually became kind of nice, and it took the pressure off of trying to guess what was next. But Alliance Quest is kind of the same way, where sometimes it feels like you forget when enlistment is and when you start, and sometimes you have the wrong day. I've been guilty of that at least once in my current alliance, where I'll think we start, say, on a Monday, and we actually start on Sunday, and they've been waiting for me to move for 6 hours, and I don't happen to know that we start an Alliance Quest until I get an emergency message online from one of my officers saying, hey, Prof, are you going to move? And I'm like, move? I'm not moving to my new house yet. Why are you getting so personal? Oh, you mean move an Alliance Quest? Oops. Yeah, I thought that was tomorrow, boss. I'm sorry. That's on me. So, training your brain to have a routine is really smart. It's one of the most genius things Kabam has done, because if you have something that you can program into what we're going to call a routine behavior, then that makes you more likely to stay with something behavior-wise, psychologically, because you have just come to expect to make it a part of your week every week. That is not the case, and I mean not the case, with so many things in this game in the past. And part of that is by design. They want you to be shocked when you log into the game and you see the new limited offer. Like, oh, I didn't know I was spending $50 today, but I guess that's how my day's going to go, because look at this offer. Or I didn't know that we were getting that new piece of content that just dropped. I guess I'm going to clear my schedule and try to complete it or explore it this weekend, that kind of thing. I didn't know who was going to be in the arena, and suddenly the new content has dropped, and I just can't believe I get to do it, etc., etc., etc. So I like to shout out Kabam when I think they're doing a good job of keeping the player base happy. I know the player base has shrank. I know for several reasons from, YouTube has not been immune to this, by the way, especially if you're a smaller content creator like myself, where just suddenly they'll be like, hey, your clicks and your views from now on, they're worth half as much as they were yesterday. It's not that your views are down. It's not that your content's down. We're just going to make it worth half as much. So I hope you're okay getting not only half as much revenue every month, but also a reminder every month that you're getting half as much as you got last month, because that's totally great for your self-esteem and your mental health. That's actually something YouTube does. It's quite genius to get people to crank out more to make themselves feel better, but can also be scary if it just makes somebody depressed and want to give up. In that regard, this game is so complicated, and it's getting more complicated every month because of new nodes and new challenges to make sure that people, especially the ones who have, of course, ascended 6-star, rank 6, technically Hercules, have the ability to not just clear all the content with him, even though that's been the case for the last couple years. While as the game evolves, we're in this weird era of the game where more and more people who start are going to be turned off because it's too confusing and hard. I almost didn't stay with the game when I first downloaded it like 8 years ago, and compared to what it is now, that'd be like quitting math in 3rd grade, where now I feel like if you download this game and you just look at all the different screens, it's like calculus, like AP calculus. From the acts, which go up to 8 now, to side quest, event quest, summoners, golden circle. You've got all the different new side quests, which of course are their own bag of tricks. You've got incursions, daily quest, alliance war, the special quests, the back issues for variant, training, and of course arenas. And if you don't know what this is, if you just downloaded it to like do some fun fights, it looks like you downloaded 20 different games, and not all these things are like obvious of when you do them or if they're even worth doing. You just kind of have to wing it, and I think that is one of the weaknesses where the game is right now. And I'm sure every game that's been around for 8 years goes through it. You want to keep the people who've been with you the longest and have the best skills and the most resources happy, but you also want to incentivize new people to download the game and stay with it. And that second one is really difficult for people outside of whale holidays. But that's also what makes people upset, because let's say that you get burnt out and you don't play the game between July 4th week and Cyber Week, and then suddenly you come back to the game and you realize not only do you have like a compensation package for not playing for a couple months, but you can actually catch up and advance if you spend $1,000 on this holiday compared to what somebody who maybe doesn't have the money to spend on those offers, but who's been playing faithfully since July every day, and they're not rewarded as much as the guy who has the cash. Again, I'm not saying this is at all unique to MCOC, but I do think that it is something that we need to talk about in the community as an issue going forward with the growth or the decline more sensibly and realistically of the community. So, all in all, I think this is a genius move to get people playing. Now I just know, like Monday through Thursday is our 4 days of Alliance Quest, and that it should end on Friday. At least I think that's what I've got in my schedule. And as long as that happens every week, it's going to be something that I find to be helpful in my own scheduling with all the things I have going on behind the scenes, and of course trying to balance that and have time to record some YouTube content. So, kabam, good work. I think this is a great sign of things to come. We'll see what happens in the future. Do you like the new Alliance Quest setup? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.